welcome to this episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Odd. We're your host, Mark and Sam. Hi, Sam.
Hello there.
So we're back on the Disney train, and we're back in that sort of travelogue Disney era with the Three Caballeros,
Hmm.
a direct sequel to the last one we watched, right?
Yeah.
Saludos Amigos, a direct sequel, and in fact, the next film they made. Um, they made six of these in all, so we've got another four to get through after this.
Yeah.
But there's a bit of breakup in that. But then we get into the more standard sort of second Disney era of features,
Yeah.
more like that.
We like
Uh,
hit Cinderella and then
yeah,
it's
that's
more
sort of
standard fare.
yeah,
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But this one centers really around Donald Duck. It was the 10th anniversary of Donald Duck as a character, and they kind of wanted to make Donald Duck the central character. And it's kind of him, old was it Joe
Joe
Karaoke, Karaoke,
Carriero. Yeah.
Karaoke, from Saludos Amigos, and
Saludos Amigos.
we get our third character, a Mexican called Panchito Pistoles from Mexico,
Yeah.
and a mad bird that kind of just
Yeah,
interacts,
there's a weird little bird that hangs around as well.
that
So it's not
chatters.
actually part of the Caballeros.
Yeah. It's. I mean, there's several sections. Some of them are their own little standalone, and indeed they were released as standalone cartoons, right?
Hmm.
And you can kind of tell what those are. There's probably two significant ones, I'd say. Um,
Yeah.
Really, Mexico is the real focus of this one, rather than
Yes.
Brazil.
We do get a
Uh,
chunk in Brazil.
we do
In
get a
fact.
chunk in Brazil. We do get. I was wondering if that was intended for Salidos Amigos, and they just put it in here. But yeah, it's all right. It's
See,
okay.
I think because it's more of like the film moves south to north
Yes, that's right.
because
It's
the
quite
very
far
first
north.
thing is the Antarctic.
The
So
Antarctic, and then Peru, and then
yeah,
Uruguay, and
then we
then it
go.
goes up and up and up. Yeah.
Yeah,
So the framing device though is it's Donald Duck's kind of birthday, right?
yeah,
Basically, he's got a big present. We see it start with a big present, and it's his birthday, which is Friday the 13th. Very appropriate for Donald Duck.
mm,
And he's got three presents. The first is a film projector, which he starts watching, and it's called a film called Aves Raras, Strange Birds, or
yeah.
Rare Birds. And it's about a penguin who's always
Mhm.
cold, who lives in the North Pole. South Pole,
South
sorry,
Pole.
South
Yeah,
Pole. Um, and he kind of keeps trying to move north or leave the ice flow, but getting too cold and freezing. And he's got a
mm.
little stove. Where what he powers the stove with, and where he got a stove, who knows? But that's what it
Oh,
is. All the other penguins are fine.
kind of mocking him. Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah.
Like,
And basically, we see him finally get onto an ice floe and start moving north, and a little storm kind of follows him and bothers him.
yeah,
And
there's
it's
there's a
hugging the
lot of like
coast.
really sort of cute little scenes of like this tiny storm, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Him his little ice boat melting, and then he finally gets to his island. So,
Yeah, and he gets to the equator and he crosses the
yeah,
equator with the help of Neptune. We literally see Neptune come out of the water and lift up a rubber band of a
yeah,
equator
that's the
kind of thing.
equator. Yeah,
And then he's on a little island in a hammock, tropical island kind of thing. And he's got a postcard from the South Pole,
yeah,
and he kind of
and he kind of misses
almost
it, and that's the end
regrets.
of it.
Yeah, that's what she gets. Very odd, very good. So yeah, a bit contrary. So then
Mm.
we're going back to the weird birds of Latin America, and here we encounter the first time this weird yappy bird, uh,
Yeah,
a
the
bit
what's it
road
called?
runnery
Paraquan.
kind of thing. I did not quite
Yeah,
road running, a bit road running. Um,
it's
but
more
yeah,
weirdly Daffy Duck. When
yeah,
he gets into his weird like hoo hoo sort of
I did
thing
see some
that he used to
elements
do.
in this film
So
that seem to have been lifted, stolen from elsewhere. You just said it,
don't
Daffy
accuse
Duck.
Disney of stealing.
No, Disney was the source. So I'm saying Disney's the source of what was stolen.
Okay.
So yeah, that kind of Daffy Duck vibe. Also, there's a bit in this Donald Duck where he's just muttering to himself, which is pure Muttley.
Yeah.
Donald Duck's going, "Rah, rah, rah." And I thought, wow, that they nicked that for Muttley, didn't they? Muttley from
Yeah.
yeah. It's just some bits of that. I always like to see Donald Duck getting aggravated. It's always the fun bit.
Yeah.
He doesn't go full red face, steam out the ears does he, in this? I don't.
No,
He
well,
gets
in the
close.
earlier ones, he doesn't really do that.
That well,
So,
it kind of it's funny. I've been also working through some of the Disney shorts, and I'm in this 40s era with Donald Duck, and Donald Duck's really central, and
mm,
he has this theme song that keeps coming up in each of the, which I don't recall ever hearing before, but it's all about how cheerful. Who's got a sunny disposition? It's Donald Duck. But the joke is, he always gets angry.
yeah,
It's kind of, it's ironic kind of thing. Um,
yeah,
so yeah, okay. So then we get some stuff about birds. We get quite a bit throughout of like more kind of almost Fantasia element. They're not quite Fantasia.
yeah. There's a lot of like just visual spectacle over a song, like instead of having like a proper animated sequence to it,
Yeah, and they're not even a lot of a lot of it isn't even
like a
animated.
visualizer almost.
It's a tracking shot of stills almost. I mean, they
Yeah,
are overload, so they look 3D, so there's movement at different
yeah,
depths, but they aren't animated otherwise, kind of thing. There's a lot of that throughout this.
mm,
And the next one is a man comes on and tells a story of himself as a little boy who
yeah.
finds
The Gachito.
a donkey with wings, right?
Mm,
And they go to this like celebration where all the men are playing various games, like bowls and things like that. But
mm.
there is a horse race and there's a money prize, and they
And
don't know
this
the
little
donkeys.
Gachito.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
they're all laughing at this little donkey and the boy on it. And anyway, they go away. But as soon as their head, the donkey's wings kicking, and he obviously is. It's a bit like Speedy
yeah,
Gonzales or Roadrunner, right? It's so fast, wins the
yeah,
race under their noses, wins the money. But unfortunately, as he's taking the money, a bird is singing on top of the finish side, finish pole, and
yeah.
the donkey flies
Donkey
up
sings in
and starts
response.
whistling. They're whistling, 'cause it's half bird, half donkey or something, I don't know. Which means they think they've been robbed. But the donkey and the boy just fly off into the sky and they're never seen again.
Yeah,
That's
that
how it is.
despite our narrator being the
Right.
boy,
We were never
is
seen again.
he's like, yeah, we never got saw her again. That's that. Like, oh,
Yeah. And then we get he opens another present and doesn't Car-
yes, it's like a
Carioca
book, and
jump out,
Jose
yeah.
jumps out. Yeah.
And he's talking about Bahia, place in
Oh
Brazil.
yeah, he loves Bayer.
Bahia, and we see loving shots of Bahia in the moonlight, and he's singing about
Yeah,
Bahia, and they're doing a samba, and Donald gets taken with one girl. Oh, it's a real. I mean, some of the sequences in
yeah,
this are quite extended, quite
yes,
extended, and
yeah,
there's a woman singing who looks a bit like Carmen Miranda, and indeed it's Carmen Miranda's sister, played by Carmen Miranda's sister, which
yeah,
she's called Aurora. Her name is Aurora Miranda.
mm,
She plays Yaya, I think, in this.
yeah.
Um,
That's
yeah, I don't know if you even know Carmen Miranda. She was famous for
not really.
dancing around with like a fruit bowl thing on her head. That's,
Yeah.
and it was like
I
South
only know her
America.
in like in form of references to her. Like I
Right,
remember one I
yeah.
remember is Modern Family, where Ed O'Neill says he had a thing for Carmen Miranda,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
always wanted
yeah.
to marry her, and they go, "Yeah, you kind of did." With
Yeah, she was big in America really in the 40s. That's kind of her era, but she's got a very distinctive look, which was often parodied. Basically a
mm,
fruit bowl on her head while she was dancing around, kind of thing. Anyway, this is Aurora Miranda, who's a very similar vibe, not surprisingly.
mm,
Good singer, and she's dancing with like these guys playing various instruments. The best instrument though was the pencil. The bloke hitting a pencil against his teeth to make a ding 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 like a
yeah,
xylophone. It's glocking, yeah, kind of
yeah, I know what
ping.
you mean. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Obviously, he wasn't really playing that on his teeth. There's a bloke
yeah,
tapping a pencil, but they're all dressed up in sort of fun outfits, and it's a lot of singing and dancing with the cartoons in the animated parts in the foreground, the Donald and Jose
yeah,
dancing, mixing in, but mostly love action. Now, this was Technicolor, but it looked a bit off. The colour palette looked a little off.
yeah. Something
Skin
seemed a
tones,
bit.
like there
Yeah,
wasn't enough yellow or something. I don't know. There was something odd.
yeah. Okay. Yeah, the it always seemed to be a bit washed out.
Yes, that might be it, actually. Yeah, it's that weird technical. You sometimes get in some prints of Wizard of Oz, kind
Hmm.
sometimes, but often I think it's been corrected over the years and it looks fine. But it sometimes looks a bit wishy-washy, like you say. Yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, this is fun. There's no story, it's just dancing. We also,
Yeah.
basically, this is the first of Donald chasing women, and he does throughout the rest of it. Chasing,
Yeah.
never succeeds, but.
There's a whole sequence where they're flying over like a beach in Mexico, and
Yeah,
Donald keeps jumping off to chase after the women.
women who wave and they're like,
Yeah.
whoa, and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, yeah. And then there's a little section where they're talking about the uh, a Mexican Christmas kind of thing where
Hmm.
they reenact the journey of Mary with the kids and all this.
Yeah, the Las Posadas.
Yeah, but we get a pinata section in that, which is fun. Which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, not much to that really. It was colourful and fun. But the
Yeah.
rest of the film is too, right? And then finally we get to not finally, we then get to Mexico City, and then we get the story of how Mexico City was formed when someone I didn't quite follow it, but someone said
The
find an
someone
eagle with a
yeah
eating a
slaying a
snake,
snake,
and
and
that's
it's
where the city will be, or something
yeah.
like that. And they
And unfortunately,
find
that was on a rock in the middle of a lake,
a middle of a
so
lake,
they
and
built it there.
yes, they built it there, and it finally, basically, the city filled in the lake, basically, apart
Hmm.
from a small section of it,
Yeah, that's
as it grew.
Tenochtitlan, and then Mexico City.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yes, yeah. So they're flying around on this like flying carpet all through this. It should be said. And again,
hmm.
Donald's looking at women, and yeah, it just doesn't get anywhere. And the bird, the weird bird, keeps popping up now and again. Yep, 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 yep.
Yeah,
All that, all that.
yeah,
And then finally, we get one particular lady singer singing a song "You Belong to My
yeah,
Heart,"
yeah.
and
Dora Luz
Donald's
from
like, "She's beautiful," and all this.
yeah. Then it gets a bit Pink Elephant.
It goes
Like
totally surreal with Donald. Is it? I couldn't quite work this out. He was in like a bit.
Donald is like hallucinating, chasing after this woman who turns into a flower,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just continuing to sing the entire time. And then they have it starts intercutting with the song Three Caballeros as well.
yeah.
And
It
just
get
keeps cutting back and forth, and it gets very weird. It's just this like strange. There's a lot of strange sort of visualizer sort of style
Yeah,
imagery.
and we also see him dancing with a woman he was dancing with earlier, but she's more dressed much more as a gaucho, with
Yeah,
spurs and sort of doing stompy, like clog dancing kind of moves.
yeah,
We see a whole village is doing that actually earlier on.
yeah,
And then there's a weird bit where Donald kind of becomes a pinata, but there's a ball, and then
yeah. He's
a
like a mechanical
firework.
bull and chasing around.
Yeah, and then he jumps out of the ball, and then the ball chases him. It's so weird. It's really really
Yeah,
weird. Um, and gets faster and faster as well, right?
yeah,
And then does Donald actually turn up in a like an outfit with fruit on his head as well at one point?
yeah. They all. There's a weird bit where it's them with like pom poms around them, but they've got human woman legs
Oh yeah, that's
and
so
like kick
weird.
dancing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's like they. I don't think they knew how to finish this, so they just had a weird
yeah.
bit where they just end up going back to the USA.
Yeah,
So,
we should mention he's not in it as much, but Panchito, the third character, is pops up now and
yeah,
then, especially when Mexico is
yeah,
in
the
the
Mexico
second half
sequences.
of it, but he's not quite as distinctive as Jose, is he? That's the.
No,
Well, we get some weird things with Jose early as well. We did skirt those, but he was like, there's like a load of little Jose's standing on each other's
yeah, he like
heads.
splits in four, and yeah, it's
I
again
like to
strange.
think this might have been an influence on Dr. Zeus in the way he did, thing one and thing two. It kind of
Maybe,
felt
yeah.
that kind of space as well, did and Dr. Zeus was this era, they
Mm.
I think Warner Brothers was doing fairly early on in the maybe early 50s, but maybe late 40s, some Dr. Zeusy kind of Horton cartoons. I
Hmm.
could be wrong. It might have been later. It might have been later. Probably
Yeah,
was later, thinking about it. Yeah, but the film just gets crazier and crazier. Fireworks, weird imagery, Donald Duck flying around. There's one point he's flying around like a fairy almost, isn't he? But it's in a
Yeah,
weird outline rather than a full. Yeah,
yeah. Again, it
uh,
goes full pink elephants.
yeah,
So
yeah, and then it kind of then it crash ends. It basically just ends,
yeah,
right? With a flag of the US, I think is or
yeah.
something like that.
Like it's like literally like, okay, we'll go back to your back home, and it's a USA flag.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, fun. I think I enjoyed the Saludos Amigos a little more than this because
Yeah,
some of the sequences were quite extended in this. It's like, is this
yeah.
going to
Like
finish
the
it?
Bayer song went on for so long,
Yeah, really long. I mean,
and it
I reckon
wasn't.
that
It
was a
didn't have
short.
any
I
like.
reckon that's a short, and they just because it felt like 7 minutes.
Yeah,
It felt short length. So
yeah.
yeah. But yeah, I quite liked it. Though not quite as much as Saludos Amigos. It was kind of fun.
Mm.
Not really much else to say about it. It was colourful and
No,
fun.
yeah,
Worth a look.
very colorful.
Hour and
Yeah,
10 minutes are fairly short. Not as short
yeah.
as Saludos Amigos, which I think was 40,
No,
right?
yeah.
And in fact, we
Saludos
did
Amigos
start
were
watching
really
this
short.
thinking it was the next one on
Yeah,
the list, didn't we? So I've certainly watched the
yeah,
first half of this a few times because we stopped halfway through the first. I think we stopped after the flying donkey stuff, or maybe a little.
we stopped when Joe Quesada showed up and
Okay, that's
was
when we
like, "Hey,
realised.
hey again, Donald." And it's like,
Yes,
"Oh,
hold on,
was he here
what?
before?"
Yeah,
So,
yeah, we realised. But
yeah,
yeah, I quite enjoyed this one. It's on Disney Plus, so it's easy to get hold
yeah,
of. Um, and there were some interesting shots of Mexican dances and
yeah,
stuff like that. And it was Acapulco Beach we saw. That's the one where
yeah,
they're leching over the women, right?
yeah, yeah,
In bikinis of all things, which is
yeah.
weird because I thought bikinis came in the 50s. But clearly, I think the name bikini became a thing in the 50s.
Probably, yeah. The
But
actual
yeah,
wear was
yes.
probably
Yeah.
releases.
Apparently, the Aracuan bird, the weird bird, does make an appearance in another Disney short with Donald
Okay.
called Clown of the Jungle. Uh, so
Yeah,
it's,
I do know that they've like maintained Donald as part of the Three Caballeros in future stuff.
yeah,
Like
why
it's
not?
a repeated thing. Like I know the DuckTales show that came
Yeah,
out a
if
couple
ever
of
you
years
want
ago.
a cheerful section somewhere, free characters singing, perfect, perfect, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So reasonably fun. Glad we got to
Mm.
it. I'm glad we're covering it. But it's kind of throwaway. Some of the
Yeah.
sections definitely stand. I think that of this, I'll probably much more remember the penguin and the flying donkey sections as
Yeah.
well. But there was some fun stuff. I haven't really got much else to say. How about you?
No, there's nothing more to say.
Oh, I should have
It's a fun little
mentioned
travelogue. Yeah.
Penguin narrated by Winnie the Pooh again. So
Yeah, yeah. Sterling Holloway
should have
showed
mentioned
up.
that, yeah, because
And they
he
credit him as Dr. Holloway.
weird, so weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. How would you rate this one?
I'd rate this a like a 7, 8
Yeah,
sort of
I'll
thing.
give it a
It's
three
like, yeah, it
point.
was good. It's not really a standout though. So
No, but better than okay. It's better than that.
yeah.
I'll give it 3.5 out of 5, which is a 7 as well. So yeah, pretty fun, but not much to say about it. More to experience. It's a thing to experience, really. There's not
Mm,
much analysis to be had from this or anything like that.
yeah.
All right then, let's wind up there. So, bye from me.
Bye.